Yo, 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 yo. I hope you're all doing well. Hello, hello. Let me know if you can hear me. Yes, no, maybe. Alright. Oh, what the fuck? Why is it not letting me select this? What? What the hell? Okay, hold on. Okay, weird. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, sorry, OBS was acting weird, but it's just because, oh fuck, hold on. There you go. There you go. Okay, everything's fine. Perfect. Okay, so, like I mentioned, um, I think when I replied to your comment yesterday, Red Herring, I mentioned that I was thinking of maybe trying a different way of generating the grid. And so basically what I had in mind, right? So right now, the way that the grid is being generated is basically by, let's say the starting point is here, right? And then we basically generate line after line, like line after line after line after line, so on and so forth, right? Of grid tiles, right? But now what I'm thinking is, so basically when we generated all of these lines, right? Like, fuck's sake, okay, bruh. Okay, so when we were generating like all of these lines, right? I know, very straight lines. The point is, you get the point, right? We're generating all of these lines, right? And then we start, every time we generate one tile, for the next tile, we use, you know, like the percentages and all that stuff. Exactly, kind of like a printing machine, exactly. So we're using the, basically we created some sort of algorithm that generates a new tile based on some of the information we have from the previous tiles, right? Now, what I was thinking is to make this more interesting and to also make it so that we can have very varying like terrains, right? And like, hold on, if I go back to the picture I had the other day, kingdoms and castles, like that. So let me see if I can find a good picture that shows a lot of different terrain and stuff. Maybe this one, I think, or this one. No. Okay, anyways, so here you can see, right, you have like different terrain, it's separated by water, so on and so forth, right? And like the different tiles, like dark green, light green, yellow, etc., right? So the idea that I was thinking is, first, the point I'm getting is that you don't know how to use spreadsheets. So basically, what I'm thinking is, first we do the like the normal script, right? Where like we spawn all of the different tiles one by one, right? But then all of those tiles are like placeholder tiles, let's say. And then we run a second function. Hello, Zeno. And hello, everybody else, obviously. But basically, this other, what's it called? This other algorithm, the second function, let's say, is going to go through, it's going to pick certain tiles at random, and it's going to I guess make them spawn. Okay, yeah. So it's gonna spawn different tiles basically. How can I? Because right now I'm thinking about how to code it. Okay, so first we're gonna have all of the tiles spawn. They're gonna be like placeholder tiles, right? And then let me zoom into my code. Okay, and then so here we have player camera manager. Yeah, that's not. We need grid builder, city builder. Okay, so basically this here, this grid tile prefab, right? This is the prefab used to spawn placeholder grid tiles. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do is this, we're gonna rename it to first grid spawner. Okay, hold on. There you go. Or no, I guess we can leave it like that. Then public void. Oops, like that. Okay, spawn grid tiles. Okay, so okay. So here we're basically gonna do this right here. We're gonna copy this, right? And then we're gonna do this like that. There you go. New tile position. Okay. Followed by all of this like that. Hold on. Like that. Boom. Stand sheet. Let's do it like that. Bruh. Okay, so this here like that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so okay, like that. Hold on, let's go back to here. We're gonna do this like that, followed by that, tile to spawn. Okay, so, or actually no, yeah, hold on. I actually don't need these right now. So let's just, I got carried on, away. Like that, and then here we're just gonna do this. I'm gonna replace this with this. Okay, so the idea right now is that here we have a very basic, what's it called? Like we have the same grid builder that we had for the tower defense game, right? So now let's just create the prefabs. Let's say this. Wait, what? All right. Okay. So this here we're gonna put it at 0, 0, 0, like that, and then assets, materials. Hold on, transparent. transparent white. Okay. And then this, I'm gonna go here, prefabs, city builder prefabs. There you go. Original prefab, there you go. So then this is going to be renamed to placeholder tile. Placeholder tile. Now we're going to delete this one. Now we're going to go into our grid builder. We're going to do this right here. Okay, placeholder tile. Like that. Okay, so now let's see, it should spawn 10,000 when I press play. Or not, unless they're all transparent. Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, no, it didn't spawn it. Okay, hold on. Is it because, yeah, okay, yeah, that's why. Spawn grid tiles. Okay, there you go. Again, rookie mistakes. I should rename these streams to the rookie mistake streams. Jesus. Okay. Now it should spawn. Okay, there you go. Ooh, wow. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, so now what I'm thinking, okay, is that okay, hold on. So now the idea is that, so we have the list here, right? The grid tiles objects list, right? So let's rename, okay, hold on. Let's copy this. Let's rename this to grid, to placeholder grid tile objects list. Then here we can do public list game object. No, just grid tile, there you go. Index equals tile ID, list element equals tile object. Here it's going to be placeholder tile object, okay? And so now the idea, okay, the idea is that, so hold on, header, old grid variables, okay. So now the idea that I'm thinking is we're going to create another list of type integer, okay, called number of tile types list. New, there you go. Index equals tile type, list element equals number of said tile to spawn. Yeah, to spawn. Okay. Okay. So now we have this, and so the idea is that, again, like the tile type is associated with one of the prefabs list. So hold on. So let's move this here, actually, to here. Okay. And so the idea here we have the prefabs for all of the different placeholder grid. So here we have the prefabs like for the blue tiles, the red tiles, the yellow tiles, whatever, right? And here it's going to be whatever number we want for each of them, right? Like maybe I want 10 blue ones and one red one, and that's it, for instance, right? So that's generally how I'm thinking it's gonna work, right? And so then, and And so basically then what I'm thinking is that it's going to populate, so it's going to pick a random tile, a random placeholder tile, right? And it's going to transform it into a specific tile, right? So then, so let me write that down, because it's going to be easier to focus that way. Or actually, instead of doing it here, let's do it like that. Okay. So the plan, right? So 1, generate placeholder grid. Okay. 2, it's going to be using number of tiles per type list, transform random placeholder tiles into specific tiles. Okay. 3, what we're gonna do then is, so I guess we would take the adjacency mechanic that I had used for my last stream, and basically from the original, let's say red tile or blue tile or whatever, right? From the original one that spawned, hold on. So, you know, I have like, yeah, okay, I have my grid, right? And then let's say I have like one tile here, okay? I have one tile here, and then like another tile here, another one here, here, etc., right? So the idea is going to be that for it, okay, so basically, as I said here, right, using blah, 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 we transform random tiles, right? So let's say we put one green here, maybe another green one here, maybe one yellow one here, and like 2 blue ones here, for instance, right? Well then, depending on the distance of all other placeholder tiles around it, right, it's going to give them a certain percentage of chance, right? Like it's almost like these tiles have like an area of effect, right? So for instance here, it's really strong, then maybe here it gets a little bit weaker, right? Like that is what I'm thinking, right? Etc., etc., right? Like that. Okay. But then here, because we have another green tile, then once again, it gets a bit stronger, right? And so basically, so let's say, I don't know, the dark green circles are a strength of 10, the light green ones are a strength of 5, right? So it's like plus 10, plus 5, and let's say plus 2, right? But because it does the same thing here, this one's gonna end up being 10 as well, right? This one as well, this one as well. Like, you see what I mean? And so that's what I'm thinking of doing it, right? And then basically once every single tile has been like affected by this, right? Then it's going to transform all of the other placeholder tiles based on this strength is what I'm thinking, right? So let's focus, because this is the thing. It's like when you're making such specific mechanics, you always need to keep a mental track of all the different variables and all these different things that you're doing, right? In order not to forget something. And like obviously you're gonna forget one little thing here and there, but just always keep track of the ultimate logic, right? Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so now we have the spawn placeholder. Placeholder grid tiles. Okay. Then we're gonna do public void transform initial tiles. Okay. This function picks tiles at random. So this function picks tiles at random and okay, so this function picks tiles at random and transforms them into a specific tile. Picks placeholder. Oops. Placeholder tiles at random. Okay. But before that, what I'm also going to do is right here in the void start. Okay, actually, yeah, let's do it here. It's gonna be setup tiles list. Okay, so for int loop index 0 equals 0, loop index 0 is lower than number of tile types list dot count loop plus plus. Okay, there you go. You're going to do a grid search inverse of some type. Are you going to measure by distance circle or go with counting spaces? I think I'm gonna go with an actual circle. I'm gonna use distance, actually. Is what I'm thinking. Or no. Yeah, okay. So actually what I'm thinking of, the way I'm thinking of doing it, right, is that because all of our tiles are like the same size, right? All of our tiles have the same dimensions. What I'm gonna do is simply, each of these tiles are gonna go through every single other tile, except itself, obviously, and except other such, or maybe actually even other such tiles, right? So basically, each of these these tiles that have been spawned here, right? Like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, right? They're gonna go through every single other tile and they're simply going to check how far away they are from one another, but they're gonna be using a custom made unit of measurement based on tile dimensions, right? So in other words, let's say we have another tile here, right? And we want to see the distance between these two tiles, right? Well, it's going to get the distance and divide it by 1.5, which is the dimensions of a single, what's it called? Of a single tile, right? And then whatever float, like the result, right? Whatever result it gives us is going to be multiplied, right? By like the tile, by the tile power or whatever, right? That's kind of the idea that I'm going with, right? I know it's very unclear, it's very raw, but like that's the idea, right? So first things first, here we're gonna set up the number of tiles. So all I'm doing here is if number of tiles, number of tile types, loop index equals -1, or rather is lower than 0, Then number of tile, oops, number of tile types list loop index 0 equals random dot range, and I'm thinking between 0 and 10. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this basically this makes sure that actually this makes sure that there isn't negative numbers of tile types, basically. Okay, so now we have this. Now here we have our placeholder grid, right? And now this function picks placeholder tiles at random and transforms them into a specific tile, right? So here what we're gonna do is another for loop index 0, loop index lower than number list count dot loop. Okay, there you go. Okay, for each tile type that has at least one. So for each tile type that has at least one, I guess, pick a placeholder tile to transform it into. This is a bit unclear. So for each tile type that has at least one, pick a placeholder tile to transform it into. Okay, yeah, I guess. Maybe you could let them all affect each other. Every tile can have a certain rating of whatever type. You can, that's the idea. That's exactly at AGT Infinity. That's kind of what I'm going for, right? It's gonna make a bit more sense once I actually start applying it, and we're gonna see how that works, right? But basically the idea, if I go back here, right? Like here I used an example with, two green ones, right? But let's say here I have a yellow one. Let me put a red one here, right? Well, then the ones between them are going to be equally affected by the yellow and the red, right? Which means that they're going to basically have an equal chance of being either of them, right? That's kind of the idea that I'm going with here, right? So, okay, so for each tile, blah, blah, blah. So here, what we're gonna do is if, numbers list, loop index is greater than 0. So that means we have at least one, right? We're gonna do another for loop for loop loop index loop index 1 equals 1. Loop 1 is lower than number of count. Actually, yeah, never mind. This is going to be equal to 0. Never mind, that was a mistake. Okay. So now the idea is, let's say for the first loop, when loop index is equal to 0, the number of tiles is 8. Well, we're going to go from 0 to 7, which is 8 times. And we're going to pick a random one, right? So we're going to do integer placeholder tile ID equals random.range divided by, so between 0 and prefab list. So wait, is that it? Grid tile prefab list, yes. bu- 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 bu. Dot, no, placeholder. Hold on. What's it called? Fuck's sake. It's placeholder grid tiles. Placeholder grid tiles objects list dot count. Okay, there you go. So here it's pick a placeholder tile at random. Okay, you should probably say what these colors mean so it's not so abstract. Will blue mean water, etc.? Is the default tile arid light? Well, exactly. Like for now, it's kind of like nebulous, but I guess like blue would be water, green would be land, and the other colors would be some sort of resource. Maybe black is going to be like impassable terrain, stuff like that, right? But again, like I'm keeping it abstract just because it doesn't matter for now. For now, it's mostly what's important is just different colors mean different things, right? And then probably next weekend, the actual like we're actually going to go more into detail and we're going to try to start giving specific properties to each tile type just to make things a bit more interesting, right? So pick a placeholder tile at random. Okay. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is oops. Okay. So here. Okay, hold on. So we're gonna do game object newly spawned tile object equals instantiate prefab list, so grid tile prefab list loop 0. Okay, then we're gonna do for the position, we're going to do placeholder grid tile objects list placeholder tile ID, right? Dot transform dot position, and then we're gonna do the same thing for the rotation, right? Transform dot rotation, and now here we're gonna do that just to make it easier to read. There you go. Now this we're just gonna remove. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then once we've done that, so okay, so instantiate one instance of the current tile type at the target placeholder tiles position, then remove said placeholder tile from the placeholder tiles list, and so then remove said placeholder tile from the placeholder tiles list and destroy it. So we're gonna do placeholder grid tiles objects list dot remove fuck. Okay, no, hold on. Before I can do this, I'm gonna have to do something else. I'm gonna have to create another script. I'm going to have to create a script for the placeholder grid tiles to start doing stuff with them, basically. Okay, scripts, city builder, new model behavior, placeholder grid tile. Placeholder tile. There you go. Placeholder tile. Okay. And now here, what we're gonna do is simply, for now, we're gonna keep it simple. Public boolean to be destroyed equals false, and then here simply if or actually oh, actually, hold on, public void destroy thyself. There you go. Destroy this game object. Boom. There you go. So this, we're gonna do this. We don't even need the boolean. And now basically, hold on. Where was the grid builder here? All we're gonna do is or no, yeah, probably, well, whatever. Okay, fuck. Hold on. No, we're actually gonna need the to be destroyed. Okay, was false. Public float death timer equals minus 1.0f. Float death time elapsed f equals 0.0f, and basically if to be destroyed boolean true, then do destroy thyself. There we go. And now here we're gonna do if death time elapsed is lower than timer f, death timer f, time elapsed, plus equal time dot delta time, else if time elapsed is greater or equal than timer f, then we do destroy this dot game object. There you go. Okay, so now the reason why I created this timer here is for the simple reason that here we're gonna remove, well, first we're gonna tell it to destroy itself, right? Because we don't need the placeholder grid tile anymore. And immediately afterwards, we're gonna remove it from the list, right? Now, just to avoid it destroying itself, right? Before we can remove it from the list, well, okay, because here's the thing, right? If this grid, if this one destroys itself, right? Technically, its index is still going to exist, right? And we can still remove it. But I prefer doing things like making sure manually that like everything's fine. So that's why I created the timer, so that basically we tell it like destroy yourself in like 0.1 second or 0.5 seconds or whatever, right? Like some really short amount of time, but that's enough time for at least one frame to go by, which is going to allow us to remove it from the list, right? And to make sure that there are no problems, right? Because the problem would be that like if basically we destroy it before we have also removed it from the list, then in the next iteration of this loop, we might pick the exact same place. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid, right? Like, so basically on turn, like on the first instance of the loop, we picked this, but for whatever reason, we didn't remove it from the list before we destroyed it or something. So then on the second iteration of the loop, we once again pick this same place, right? It's very unlikely, but I'd rather make 100% sure it doesn't happen just to avoid these problems, right? So that's why I'm doing this. So basically here we're gonna go up and I'm gonna do private placeholder tile CB current placeholder tile script. Okay, there you go. Okay, and now here what I'm gonna do is current placeholder tile script equals newly spawned, no, not newly spawned tile object, placeholder grid tile object, placeholder tile ID, dot get component, placeholder tile, there you go. Okay, and then placeholder dot to be destroyed bool equals true, and then placeholder grid tile objects list dot remove dot remove, it's going to be I could do it like this, right? There you go. So we can write it this way, or I could write it this way. Okay. Both of these methods work. Up to you which one you prefer. Okay. For now, we're gonna disable this one. I'm gonna use this one, but again, it's both of these work. They're the exact same thing, basically, right? So then. So also what I'm gonna do here is blah blah blah. Okay. Yeah, and grid tiles objects list. There you go. So grid tile objects list, right? So what I'm gonna do here is instantiate one instance of blah 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 and add it to the grid tiles list. Okay, so grid list, grid tiles objects list, it's that one, right? Because it's not the placeholder list exactly. Dot add simply newly spawned tile object list. There you go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now this is pretty much done for now, step one. So, and again, like you guys are gonna see how very complex and convoluted this is gonna get, right? And this is the thing, anything that involves like strategy games, tower defense, city builders, whatever, it's going to have a lot of scripts, like really long convoluted scripts, because that's just the nature of the beast, right? Like that's why a lot of people make like platformers or whatever, because they're much easier to get working, right? Tower defense, out of all of the like strategy game and whatever, I'd say MOBA and tower defense are the easiest ones. But even with them, it can get complicated depending on the mechanics you want to do. So I'm just gonna be right back. Give me 5 seconds. All right. Okay, so okay, here we have each tile exactly. So we've spawned one of the actual tiles, right? And then what I'm going to do next is create another void. Public void. Okay. another public void, and we're gonna call it populate grid. Okay, or no, tile influence. Yeah, just tile influence. Okay. Hey, I've seen some revolutionary RPG Maker games you disrespect punk. I think the remove you are using now is similar to the one you used in the previous project when there was a bug where towers missed enemies that couldn't be found in the... Well, exactly. But this is why I gave it basically I told it to destroy itself, right? And I put a timer on so that way for sure we're not gonna risk having that, basically, right? But I mean, let's try it with this. If it gives us a bug, then we'll know it doesn't work, right? But the thing is, it should work because, first of all, the object associated to this still exists, right? And second of all, this, because we're using an ID instead of using a direct reference to the object, even if this index, this list element is empty, it has no value, it should still remove it because here we're referencing the actual index, right? We're finding the list element we want to remove using its index, whereas here we're not using an index, we're simply saying whichever object, right, like matching this description is inside the list, wherever it is, remove it. So technically this, so hold on, let me comment it. We use the index to find a specific list element. Whoops. Whereas here it's we remove any instance of said game object. So that's the difference, right? So earlier when I said that it's the exact same, not really, right? Because in theory, if we have three list elements with the exact same game object, it's actually going to remove three list elements here. Whereas here, whether it's empty or not, it's going to remove the list element at that specific index. You see what the difference is? So again, like these are both useful for specific cases. In our instance, because we know for a fact there's only one instance of each of these, we can use both. Which one would be safer? I mean, okay, in terms of safer, I think they're both equally safe. It really depends, right? If your game mechanic involves having the same object multiple times in the same list and you only want to remove it once, then this is better, right? But if on the contrary you want to make sure that you remove any instance of that object from the list, then this option is better, right? So I guess they're both equally safe. It just really depends on like what you're going for. You know what I mean? Okay. So now tile influence. Okay, so here I'm gonna go back to where's the adjacency code that I did? Is it tower placement? No. Flare explosion, projectile. It can't be tower manager. Is it tower manager? Tower detection, chunk the current overall. Is there the towers up to detect which enemies are within range? Tower attack manager, tower visuals manager. Nope. Okay. Okay, so it's not here. Even though, okay, here we have the adjacency bonuses. So is it in the grid? No, no. Was it in player manager? Tower defense, tower placement manager. What? Oh, fuck. Where did I put Oh my god. Oh, grid. No. Nope, nope, nope. What? Oh no, it was in the game manager. I'm stupid. Okay, yeah, yeah. I used RPG Maker once in a project in school, and it was alright, but it's not my. I'm not. I don't do 2D games, unfortunately. I'm more of a 3D game player, right? Okay, so it's here. It's here. Here I found it. Okay, so let's just copy paste it, basically, because the logic is what matters, right? Not the actual code itself. It's more so the logic. Grid builder, no, city builder. Okay, there you go. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay. Okay, tile influence. Current number of towers equals, okay, no. Okay, so this was current number of towers because there was a possibility of me placing a tower while it was verifying, so we needed a snapshot. Now, are we also going to need a snapshot for this? My gut feeling says maybe, but let's really think about it. So the idea is, so here we're only going to update the tile influence. So no, we're not going to need the snapshot because we're going to go through. My messages were too spicy and got axed. So I'm just going to say, jeez. Well, try to say them anyway. Use euphemisms or emojis or stuff like that. That's what I that's what I use. Okay, so tile influence. That's what kinds of buildings we've got so far. We've got 2 towers, but well, actually we used to, but not anymore. Okay, so tile influence. Okay, so we're gonna go through. Yeah, go through anything that can turn dwellers into smoke, for example, or piles of shoes. Jesus. Go through every single placeholder. No, every single grid tile, and check if every single placeholder tile is in. No, okay. So go through every single grid tile and placeholder tile and apply to each placeholder tile. Okay, hold on. So and apply to each placeholder tile said grid tiles influence influence value or whatever, I don't know, influence set grid tiles influence based on distance. Okay, or turn them into Jesus. Shut it down. Hold on. Okay, so for integer loop index 0 is going to be so we're gonna go, the first loop is inside of the grid tiles objects list, which this list we started populating it inside of this function, right? Like here we started populating it, right? So we're gonna double click this like that, dot count plus. Oh, you fucking bitch. This is messing with my OCD. What? Oh my god. grid list, grid tiles, objects list dot count. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna create another one here called grid tile CB. So we have placeholder. Oh fuck, this one's, I misnamed it. Okay, placeholder tile CB. Okay, grid tile, and where's placeholder tile? Rename placeholder tile. There you go. Okay. Okay. Now let's go back to our grid builder here. Let's go up here. Private grid tile CB. Script, current grid tile script. Okay, now here what we're gonna do is, hold on, grid tile CB. We're gonna call those core variables. Public int. It's going to be base influence. So basic influence. There you go. Then public float is going to be equal to 4 out of 20 birthday themed deals. Jesus. Public float, we're gonna call it public float, we're gonna call it distance divider f equals -1.0. This represents the dimensions of a single tile. Okay. Public float. I think that's it for now. Yeah, the 20th of April. I know what date that is. Jesus. It wasn't it Easter this year? I think it was the Orthodox Easter. I'm not sure about the non-Orthodox one. Okay, so we have, so here the base influence, if you go back to here, it's just the basic level of influence, and then depending on the distance, so basically, yeah, so basically we have the base influence, we have the distance divider, right? Or I guess the distance divider should be inside of the grid builder script, actually. Let's represent the dimensions of a single tile. Okay, so distance divider. Then here, we're gonna do so we have the base influence. So basically we calculate like the distance between this and let's say this, and then we divide it by the distance divider, which is 5, and then whatever it gives us, okay, whatever it gives us, we multiply it by the base influence and then we're gonna round it to an integer to see how much it so what the final value is. Okay, so here we're gonna do public. Yeah, we're gonna make a list here. Yeah. So public list of type integer. Oh wait, no. Not on this script, but rather in here. We're gonna do public list of type integer. We're gonna call it influence types list equals new. Oh, you bitch. What? Fuck's sake. Public list. Public list. There you go. Okay, so the reason why it was giving me an error, let me show you guys, because this is actually important, right? Here, up here, using is basically the type of stuff that C# accesses to do different things, right? So here I'm using a list variable type or whatever from the system.collections.generic, right? But if I go back, right? So right now it's giving me an error on the list, right? Yeah, exactly, the library, right? But there are multiple libraries, right? So here, if I write list, the first thing that appears is nunit.framework. That's not the list, the library we're looking for. We're looking for the one right above it. You see? So that's why it kept giving me an error, right? So what was it? It was influence types list equals new. There you go. Okay. Index equals tile type. So influence type and then list element equals influence value. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now that we have this, I think we have everything that we need. Okay, so now basically we're gonna do we're going to do distance divider. Okay, let's go back to here. So now we're going to do current grid tile script equals grid list. So grid tiles objects list dot loop index 0 dot get component grid tile city builder. Oops. Okay, let me just be right back. All right, I'm back. My fucking AC, it's too cold. Okay, all right. Okay, so now that we've accessed the grid, so right now what we're doing here is basically we're gonna go through every single one of these, right? The X's that you see here, right? We're gonna go through every single one of them, right? Let's do it like that. Here, right? We're gonna go one by one through each of them, and then we're gonna create another loop. So basically, like, I don't know, we access this one first, then we're gonna do a loop where we're gonna access each of these and apply this one's influence on them, basically, right? And then we're gonna do the same thing for every other actual grid tile, right? So then we're immediately gonna do int loop index 1 is lower than there you go, loop index 1 plus plus, there you go. Now placeholder script equals placeholder list loop 1. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so now here, okay, so access current grid tile, access current placeholder tile, and then using our current grid tiles script and variables, apply, so hold on, apply current grid tiles influence on current placeholder tile based on current grid tiles parameters. Okay, based on distance and current grid tiles parameters. There you go. What else? Okay. So how did we calculate this? Okay. Here's where we're gonna need this code here. We're gonna go, there you go, this. So, okay, so get distance between current grid tile and current placeholder tile. Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh, my nose is itching. So, fuck. It's not even allergy season. What's happening? Okay, vector 3. Direction between both tiles, v3, equals tile dot transform dot position minus placeholder dot transform dot position. Okay. Yeah, I can do it like that. I guess we can see it better that way. And then float dist between tiles f equals direction blah 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 dot magnitude. There you go. Then here I'm gonna do integer current grid tiles influence equals so we have the divider, so we take the distance divided by half, and then what it gives us, we multiply it by base. So basically current grid tile dot base influence times distance divided by divider, distance divider, right? And then all of this, okay, all of this we do math f dot ceiling to int. We don't do round to int, we do ceiling to int. That way the lowest it's ever gonna be is 1, basically, right? That's the lowest it's ever gonna be. The reason why I'm doing it this way is to make sure that there are no placeholder tiles left, right? That's how, or actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it round to int just to see what's gonna happen. But typically I would do ceiling to int, right? So that's a float, that's a float, that's base influence. Here we're gonna do float like that. Okay, just in case. Okay. Okay. Now this we can remove here. Okay. And now, okay, and now what we do is placeholder tile. Placeholder tile. Oh, hold on. So here, okay, here we're gonna add an integer in our grid tile, and we're gonna call it grid type. Okay. There you go. Now, typically something like grid type or tile type rather. So typically something like tile type, right? In all of the previous, what's it called? All of the previous prototypes we did, that would usually be an enum, right? But in this case, we're gonna keep it as an integer because it's just gonna be easier. It's gonna save us time, right? You're gonna see how, but let's just look here. So 0 is white, 1 is dark gray. Oops. 0 is white, 0 equals white, 1 equals dark gray, 2 equals blue, 3 equals red, 4 equals green, and 5 equals yellow, I believe, right? Yellow, green, yeah, perfect. Perfect, okay. So basically, so for this one, like we could use enums, right? We could use enums and it would be more intuitive that way, right? But basically, for laziness sake, right? Just to save on time, I'm gonna use tile type here simply because then what I can do is simply this, right? So current placeholder tile script dot list influence types list dot current grid tile dot type tile type, there you go, plus equals grid tiles influence. Bada bim bada boom, right? Because basically instead of just doing this one line of code, if I used enums for like a white tile, a dark gray, blue, red, whatever, right? What it would end up doing is that I would have to do like if current grid tile dot tile type equals tile type dot blue, like it's like, you know what I mean? Then we do this, and then I'm gonna be like current placeholder tile dot influence dot 0, let's say, plus equals grid influence, blah blah blah, and then I'd have to do this 5 more times, right? Exactly, right? So instead, with just one line, everything's good, everything's fine, everything's working as it should, and here we basically have all we need, right? Right, this is basically the same as like an enum, right? The only problem is that when we're in the inspector, we don't see that, right? But at the same time, I could do it like this, right? So header again, this is very ghetto, but it would work, right? It would work, you know? So make of that what you will. Okay. Okay, so we have this. I think that's it for the influence thing. So let's recap. We go through each grid, right? Like each actual grid tile, right? One by one. And then we also, once, like for each of these, we go through each of this and we add the influence, however much it is, right? And that's really it. And now here, we're gonna do public void. And now here we're gonna do populate grid. Okay. So now that we don't really need this, sorry, we're gonna remove it. We're gonna save. Now it's going to do that. Ugh. God, my nose is itchy. Okay, okay. So populate grid. So now, what we're gonna do is, through every single placeholder grid, how am I gonna do it? Okay, go through every single placeholder tile and transform it into another tile based on its influences. Okay. For int loop index 0, 0, loop index 0, placeholder list dot count dot loop populate grid. Interesting name. Gotta multiply and populate the grid. Exactly. Okay, we're gonna do current placeholder blah 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 equals placeholder grid tiles objects list dot loop 0 dot get component. Voila. Okay, and then oh fuck. Okay, just I'm gonna be right back. 10 seconds. Sorry. All right, back. Okay, so current placeholder tile script, blah blah blah. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is use an RNG to pick which tile type this placeholder, so current placeholder tile, will transform into. So what we're going to do here is integer is going to be integer yeah, integer total influence, so yeah, total influence equals 0. Okay, and now here what we're gonna do is another for loop, loop index 1. Loop index 1 is gonna be lower than placeholder tile dot influence list dot count. There you go. Okay. Okay, so find the total influence inside of current placeholder tile. Okay, so total influence plus equals placeholder tile dot list loop index 1. There you go. Okay, the yogurt has gone to Randy. I haven't eaten any this week. Okay, I just had to crack my back, but I can't do it at my desk. I have to go to my kitchen board, or not board, but the bar at my kitchen, because that's where I can crack it the best. Because the floor in my office is slippery, so I can't properly like do the whole thing. Because basically my back is so fucking tight from all the workouts that I do that I start getting like those shitty headaches, stemming from like in the back of the head and stuff. I fucking hate those. Okay, so total influence, blah blah blah. Okay, so the idea here, okay, is you know how we have like these 6 types, right? So white tile, dark gray, blue, red, green, yellow. Each of these are gonna have like a certain level of value, right? Like kind of how we showed here, right? Like a certain level of value like that, right? Etc. etc. So like these ones, these orange ones have an equal level of influence from the red and the yellow one, right? No, it's more so, hold on, I'm gonna show you. Back cracking. Back cracking. Fuck. They're not showing the one that I'm doing. It's like a very, very hardcore version of this, right? It's a very hardcore version of this that I'm doing. Because I have a very tense back. Blah, blah, blah. Hold on. Okay, so where were we? You guys keep keep destroying my concentration. Okay, hold on. I'm not quite a contortionist, but basically after doing it regularly for months, like you get really, like I'm basically like not 180 but about 90 degrees almost. Okay, so okay, so basically here what we're gonna do is we're gonna calculate the total the total influence, right? Then we're gonna do a random number generator, right? And wherever this number falls into is going to be compared with the total influence, and that's what's going to let us pick which tile type we're going to do, basically. Camera on, let's see this. Honestly, I think I might have a webcam somewhere, but I'm not sure. I haven't used it in years, and the last one I had broke. So I don't think I have a camera. I'm not even joking. I really don't think I have a camera. Are you gonna turn to one of those yoga streamers, Randy? No, I wish. I'm too ugly for that. You have to be a hot woman. By the way, if you type naked yoga on YouTube, you can watch porn. I'm not even joking. At least several years ago when I checked, it was still working. Oh my god. All right. Okay. So as I said, here we have the total influence here, and then use an RNG to find which type of use an RNG and compare it with total influence to find the tile type to transform placeholder tile into. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay, so what the fuck is going on, man? Okay, so use an RNG. Okay, so integer RNG influence is going to be equal anywhere between 0 and total influence. Okay. Ah, fuck, I'm stupid. Random dot range. There you go. Thank you. And now what we're gonna do is integer tile type to spawn ID equals -1. And now here I'm gonna do if RNG influence is lower than placeholder script dot list 0, yeah, dot 0, yeah, then tile type spawn ID equals 0, else if RNG inf is lower than current placeholder tile type dot list 0 plus placeholder dot list 1. Okay. Or rather, actually, hold on. Okay, because right now the way I'm doing it is I'm doing like a bunch of if statements, right? And in total, I'm gonna have to do like 5 or 6 of them, right? But I'm thinking of a way of saving time and code, right? So I could, yeah, I could do a for loop here, I think. For int loop index 1. Loop index 1 is going to be placeholder, nope, dot list dot count, nope. Okay, and now we're gonna say if yeah, okay, if RNG inf is lower than, in parentheses, total influence minus RNG, no, minus no, wait, fuck. Because let me explain what I'm doing so that it makes sense, because you guys are probably confused as fuck right now, right? So the idea is, okay, by adding all of the influence, so let's say, I don't know, we have like this one here, right? We have 6 different types of tiles, right? And they each give influence out, right? Like the closer you are, the stronger the influence, etc., right? So what we're gonna do is we added all of the different influence types, right, to see what the total influence type is, and then we pick an RNG from that, right? So if we go here, it's as if we added each of these 6 list elements, right? But here it's objects, but basically the influence related to each tile type, right? And then from that total influence, right? From the total influence, whatever the RNG gives us between 0 and the total influence, let's say it's between 0 and 100, right? Or let's say it's between 0 and 60 because we have 6 different types of tiles, right? It's between 0 and 60. So then we're going to say like, okay, well, if the RNG influence is anywhere between 0 and 9, we're going to spawn a white tile. If it's anywhere between 10 and 19, we're going to spawn a black one. If it's anywhere between 20 and 29, we're going to spawn a blue one, so on and so forth, right? But now I'm just trying to figure out a way of like properly how can I say, like properly doing a type of very robust code that with fewer lines can do more, right? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because here we can do it like manually, but it's not. So hold on. So here what I can do is integer current max influence equals 0. Okay, and now what we're gonna do here is max influence plus equals placeholder tile dot list loop index 1, and then here we're just gonna do RNG inf is lower than max influence. Oops, hold on. If RNG inf is lower than max influence, then we're gonna do blah, tile to spawn ID equals loop index 1. There you go. And we can also, interesting use of probability like they do in board games, yeah. But that's the thing. Honestly, board games are a great source of inspiration for game design. Not just like strategy games or whatever. Just like there are lots of video games, or rather, there are lots of board games you can use to develop video games with, right? And oftentimes, a lot of like real proper game developers first create a board game version of the video game they're making, just to, because that's kind of the easiest way to prototype, right? Okay. And here, let me just remember something. 3D. So break causes exit from the loop only, so any statements after the loop will be executed. On the other hand, return causes, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I just wanted to confirm. Every time I do know what return and break does, but I'm still so paranoid that I'd rather triple check, right? So here we're gonna say break. Okay, there you go. And then current blah blah blah. Okay, and so then we're going to do we're gonna do this. We're gonna copy all of this. Okay, so placeholder grid tile objects list, blah blah blah, grid tile prefabs list. Hold on. Like that. Okay, so we're gonna do a newly spawned tile instantiate from the grid tile prefabs list. We're going to use this spawn ID, and then these ones here, we're gonna do loop index 0. There you go. Then grid tile, yeah, we add the newly spawned object, then remove set placeholder tile. Bada bing, bada boom. Well, hold on, I already have this, so this I don't need actually. So then this, and then placeholder, blah, blah, blah. There you go. And then this. There you go. Okay. And I think that's it. So now what we're gonna do, because technically those functions are not gonna work, the ones that I just made, all those functions, right? So here we have our spawn placeholder grid tiles, right? Blah, blah, blah. Then at the very end, once, once all of this is done, move on to the next function. So we're gonna do transform initial tiles function, and then at the very end of this one, we're gonna do tile influence, and then at the very end of this one, we're gonna do populate grid. That way they all only happen once, basically. Okay. Hold on, let me just see here in the setup. It's within 0 and okay. Okay. All right. So now let's go here. In our grid builder, number of tile types, we're gonna do 6. We're gonna do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1 of each. Divider, we're gonna do 1.5. Then, hold on. Prefabs. Okay. Fuck's sake. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. Never mind. It's just the neighbors being weird. They have guests or some shit. It's just... They're like knocking on someone's door, but I was like, what the fuck is going on? There you go. And then the blue tile here. I'm gonna put it... Okay, there you go. So, script, city builder, placeholder, tile like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Death timer, we're gonna put it at 0.5. Influence types list 6, it's at 0, amazing. Here override, apply all, and then all of these I'm going to add, hold on, all of these I'm going to add a normal grid tile. One base influence, let's say 15, and then tile type, I believe this one is 0. Yeah, 0 is white, dark gray is 1, blue is 2, red is 3, green is boom. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Okay. Now this. Okay. So now, in theory, everything should work. In theory. Nope. Okay. Reference the variable blah 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 has not been assigned. Motherfucker. Okay. I was sure I had assigned it. There you go. Placeholder title. Okay. And also technically I'm going against what I said yesterday, which is like, oh, do a little bit, test it out, do a little bit more, etc., etc. But like, and even though I'm doing this on the fly, it would be better for me to test everything out. But all of this is a very, very, very simplified version of something I've done in my strategy game. And I've done it way more complicated, right? Like, so basically here, if you look, it's like 200, like 200 lines of code, maybe less than that, like 170 something at most. Imagine a script similar to this logic, but 3,000 lines of code, right? So give or take, this should work, hopefully. Okay. Okay, so clearly the grid here is working. Index was out of range, must be non-negative. Okay, now let's see. It's line 43, 99, 116. 43, 99, 43. Okay, so something's happening here in 99. Okay, this is giving us an error. Interesting. Interesting. So what's the error that's giving us? Exception that must be non-negative and 116. So really it's line 116. Grid tile prefabs list. Grid tile prefabs list. Yeah. What's the problem? Wait. Number of it's because of this. Number of tile types list. Number of tile types list. No, I have 6. Okay, no, so that's good. So it's line 116. Could it be this? Placeholder grid tiles. Oh, fuck. No, wait, no, this is good. This is good. This is clearly not the error. So it must be something about this. He's trying to sell sub-story, boys. Don't listen to other these, but yeah, no. No, but honestly, like those fucking big ass 3,000 stuff scripts are fucking awful. Okay, but where is this mistake? It's probably, I guarantee you it's gonna be one of those like another rookie mistake. I guarantee you. So this function picks placeholder tiles at random and transform so number of tile types. So for each number of tile, then here, right? If its value is greater than 0, right? Number. Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm stupid. No. I see what the mistake is. Should be this. That's how it should be. There you go. That should fix this error. Hopefully there aren't other stupid mistakes. So I was right. It was some fucking rookie mistake. Anyways. Okay, hopefully. Okay, so Is it giving us the same error? Okay, interesting. It's giving us the same error. Okay, well, you know what? you know what time it is, boys. You know what time it is. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go here. Look at that. Fuck, hold on. Let's do it like that. No. Okay. So I'm currently prototyping stuff in Unity. Here's one of my scripts. Boom. Now we're gonna delete this. There you go. I'm getting this error in the Unity editor. There you go. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, hold on. You're getting an argument of blah blah blah. At this line inside your function. Okay, yeah, so I was right. Okay, so this is, yeah, so okay. You're modifying blah 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 inside the loop while iterating and yeah. Which leads to, to desynchronized indexing because blah 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 strings during the loop that eventually causes what's happening. Okay. I get it now. A copy option A, copy the list or track available indices. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so see, so we ended up finding out like this is the line actually. Well, not this one specifically, but hold on. The first instance of this line, which is here from what it's telling me right here. Oh, by the way, hold on. Okay, no, hold on. This here is giving me 116. Wait, are you sure? Hold on. Is ChatGPT fucking up? Is that really? Hold on. Modifying. Yeah. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna move this one here like that. Okay. Life is rough for an intern. Okay. So let's go through everything. So here we have this number of tiles to spawn, blah blah blah, etc. So then here we transform this, and at 116 here we do this new grid object, blah blah blah. No, yeah. ChatGPT doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about because I'm not actually using this list. I'm using the number of tile types here. So the idea, the logic in question, right, is that I'm going through this list, the number of tile types list, right, which is here. It's this list here, right? And then if the list element, let's say the first list element is greater than 0, then do a loop, right? See, so if it is greater than 0, then do another loop inside of the current loop. But then this loop here is going to be equal to whatever the actual number is, right? So for instance, if it's only 1, so we obviously we start at 0. If it's only 1, then, then it's going to go from 0 to 1, and it's only going to happen once, basically, right? So pick a placeholder tile at random. So here, we're going to pick this one here at random, right? Unless it's referring to the fact that this line here is like bugging out, but I don't think that's the case. What? Yeah, no, that's not the case. That's not, this is fine here. So then we go into the grid. Yeah, this works too. This works as well. Then, and it says get errand. So you're modifying a pH grid tiles objects list inside the loop while iterating and accessing it by index, which leads to desynchronized indexing because pH grid tiles objects list dot count shrinks during the loop. That eventually causes random dot range 0 to generate a now invalid index. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so that is what it's saying. Basically what it's saying is by doing this, I'm causing an error, which means that even if I use this line here, it would still cause the same error. Okay. So I guess, so copy the list or track available indices. Destroy calls and list removals. Yeah, populate grid has a similar issue. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I guess we're gonna try to use the snapshot technique. Yeah, subtract from the count. Yeah. Okay, so hold on. So int total number of placeholder tiles equals pH grid tiles objects list dot count, like that. Let's see. So let's just change this line here and see if it's gonna fix. It probably isn't. Something tells me it's not, but let's see. Okay. Okay, so now it's giving us another error at line 117. Oh, well, it's giving us the same error actually. 99, 117. Yeah, okay, it's giving us the same error. Okay, so this is not the solution. Okay, so basically what I would have to do is okay, no, I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a few extra steps, but I mean it's gonna fix the issue. Oops. Okay, there you go. Oh, is it because your for loop count is off by 1 because it starts at 0? No, because the condition of the for loop is lesser. So the issue isn't with the for loop. The issue is that basically the issue is that every time I do this, right, this randomly generated index is based on a random value between 0 and this count, which is good, until right here I change it, right, which results in what what do you say? Like it results in this not being up to date, which means that let's say this is equal to 100, which means that this value here is going to be anywhere between 0 and 99, right? Because the first list element is 0, the last one is 99, which makes 100 total, right? But then I immediately remove something here, but because it happens inside of a loop, it doesn't exactly update this necessarily. So this still counts as 100, even though there's technically 99 elements, right? Which means that this creates a problem, basically. You see what I mean? Like that's where the problem comes from. So instead, what I'm gonna do to fix this is I'm going to create a new list, okay? Which is going to be public list game object styles to destroy list equals new list index equals irrelevant list element equals Pt.2 to destroy. Okay. Okay. And now look what we're gonna do. It's very simple. Where's the error? Okay, the error is here. Okay, so we're gonna do this, blah, 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 right? And then what I'm gonna do here is simply do to destroy list dot add ph grid tiles objects list ph tile id. There you go. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. And then this code here, I'm gonna move it to right here. So once you're done with all of that, remove all placeholder tiles from their list. Okay, so now here I'm gonna do, what was it again? It was for int loop index 0 loop index 0 to destroy list dot count loop index plus plus. There you go. And now here I'm gonna do current placeholder tile script equals tiles to destroy loop 0 dot get component, not component in parent, just get component, you bitch. There you go, like that. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this line here, like that. And dot to destroy bool equals true. There you go. So now we've told it to destroy itself, and then once we're done with all of this, we're gonna do pl to destroy dot clear. Boom. When you do dot clear, it basically erases the list. So it doesn't erase the things inside of the list. It just like resets the list to an empty list, basically. You change the round to int function to ceiling to int, right? I don't remember if you did. I changed the ceiling to int one to round to int is what I did. Hold on. Let me just do this like that. Okay, so now I'm basically going to do the same thing down there, right? So let me just, where is, fuck, hold on. Tile influence, populate grid. Okay. Yeah, and here, yeah, then remove it, blah, blah, blah. This I don't need because I already have it. This here, where is it? This loop index 0. There you go. Now these ones I'm gonna remove. Here. Okay. And now we're just gonna do this the exact same way. Oops, hold on. We're gonna do this like that. There you go. Hopefully now it should be good to go. Unless there are other weird errors that we may have missed. Come on. Okay, there's another error somewhere. What? It's giving us 117. Again. 117. Why is it giving us an error here? What? Okay, hold on. God damn it. Okay. Let me just... God damn you, ChatGPT. You were my last hope. Okay, hold on. Copy. Copy. Here. Here's what my script looks like now. Okay. I'm getting this error here. This error in the Unity editor. Wait, what? You didn't see, but I offered an option before you rerouted. What do you mean? Thanks for you're very close to stable implementation, but the argument out of range is still happening because of how you're randomly accessing, okay, while modifying it. What do you mean? Line 116, which is this line. Okay. Is it really though? Is it really? Line 116. Okay, well, let's say it's this, okay? Fuck you. The crash is likely due to this line being called after you've already removed too many elements or reused the same tile index multiple times. Oh, fuck, right, because I need... Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, no, oh, fuck, right. Because my logic... Okay, because the reason why I couldn't remove... I needed to remove them immediately was because of this. Okay. So you know what? Okay. So we're gonna do this the getaway. If you're right, you should be able to subtract the index from that count because for each run one less okay, yeah. If you're right, should be able to subtract the index from that count because. Yeah, no, it's weird. I understand what you mean. I also used to think that way, but that's not how it works because basically, like the loop, because a loop happens during one single frame, it how can I say it? The moment you make any change to the number that determines how the duration of the loop, basically, the moment you make any such change, it fucks everything up, basically, right? And what I learned right now is that even if you do it this way, using a list that technically isn't the what determines the duration of the loop, it's still gonna fuck up, right? So here's what I'm gonna do, basically. I'm gonna create, okay, placeholder tiles to destroy list. I'm gonna change this to an integer list. Index irrelevant list. It's to destroys index. Okay. Okay. So look what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna do a number of tiles to spawn is going to be this. Okay, number of tiles to spawn, blah blah blah, and then add a ph tile ID. There you go. Add this, then here it's gonna be there you go, like that. Okay, and then hopefully this now should not cause us a problem, unless what I suspect is that even the Unity edit, because sometimes the Unity editor does this, right? Remember when I was talking about the different error types? Sometimes it's gonna tell you, oh, there's an error, like I don't know, on this line, but in reality the error is like on the line after or before or whatever, right? But it's like it doesn't detect them well, basically. Oh fuck, hold on. Okay, there you go. And now here, just gonna do loop index. Okay. Let's see if this is gonna work. It probably isn't. At this point with my shitty luck. Okay. 402, okay. Come on, bitch. Whore. Fucking cunt. What the fuck is wrong with you? So line 1. Okay, so it tells line 117, but then it says line. Okay, hold on. No, oh, that's not gonna. It's not gonna change shit. 117, 116. Okay, hold on. Well, it said 117, right? So here like that. Hold on. It's weird because the line it gives me shows that the error seems to occur on this line and the line right above it, which is this one. Was number of tile types list, grid tile prefabs list. Well, no, it does contain the exact. Bitch, fuck you. Why isn't this working? Hold on. What? Like what? Hold on. This is so weird. So here we have, yeah, so the number of tile types, which is 6, so it goes from 0 to 5, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, good, right? The divider here, then integer, placeholder tile. Again, like this should have been working, I think, but for whatever reason, like now we changed it to make sure that this isn't the problem, and it's still clearly causing an issue, right? Because basically even after we changed this, right? Did we change this down here? Well, actually we don't need to. So in theory, it's not giving us, it should not even give us an error here. But, bro, this is so annoying. So clearly the problem isn't this line, right? Like this is what I'm saying. Like even ChatGPT is bugging out. Like the problem must be something much weirder, right? Let's just, could it literally have to do it with this, right? Is this it? That's definitely not gonna solve the issue, because that's not the problem. Yeah, there you go. So it's line 116. Because it says argument out of range exception, index was out of range, must be non-negative unless, yeah, so it refers to a list. Blah, blah, blah. Grid tile prefabs list. Okay, hold on. So it refers, yeah, so it's line 116, but it says the error, so it says an error, right? Hold on, so which lines does it say? 116, 99, 43. 116, okay. 99. And then 43. This, what? Bruh. 43. Could it have something to do with the fact that I'm doing this basically? Hold on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna do this. public int fuck you equals 0. So update if fuck you equals 0, spawn grid. There you go. Oops. Okay. Then here we're just gonna say fuck you plus equals 1. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So then else if fuck you is equals 1, we're gonna do else if fuck you equals 2. Remember ChatGPT, bro. But this is what I'm saying. Like ChatGPT, sometimes it can be good. Other times I'm like, I'm reading to what it's saying, and I'm like, I understand the words, but I'm not sure I understand the meaning of it, if that makes sense, right? Fuck you. 3. There we go. It's probably, this is probably also not the fix, but I just want to see. I just want to make sure that basically this line here, for whatever reason, isn't what's causing the problem, right? Because again, like I've done it so many times, right? Like for loops are the type of stuff that I use so much that I've gotten used to like making sure that everything works as it should. My problem is more while loops. While loops typically cause me like the biggest issues. So seeing this, I'm like, why the fuck is it not working, right? Hold on. Populate grid. Okay, well. Oh, hold on. And then populate grid at the very end, just to make sure. It's gonna be fuck you plus equals 1, just so that, there you go. All of these only happen once. Come on, bitch. Come on, bitch. Yeah. It's probably still gonna give us an error. Oh, okay, interesting. Now it's giving us a bunch of errors. On line 121 and 399. Yeah, 121. On line 121, which is this line here. It's giving us a line here. It says, so probably what it's saying is that this here, oh, I'm stupid. Oh my fucking god. Oh my lord, I'm so retarded. Oh my god. If I had a webcam on, you would see me facepalm so hard. Oh wow. Because I'm using this, but I wrote this. Oh my god. Bruh. Bruh. But you see, even ChatGPT didn't see that. Okay, so now it's still giving us a fucking error, which is on the same line. What? Why? What is wrong with you? So this is loop index here. Unless I change this, do I know? Grid tile prefabs list. Hold on. Number of tiles. No, okay, no, never mind. This is good. This right here is good. Okay, this right here is good. Because hold on. Bro, I'm getting lost in my own code. Oh shit. This is what's happening when you spend way too much time on the one thing. You start like hold on, what's the like hold on, confused woman. This is me right now. Do some proper debug lines or run. No, fuck that, bro. I'm not debugging like a normal person. Are you crazy? Hold on. Grid tile. Like, I'm sure all of these mistakes are always the dumbest fucking shit. That's what it has to be, right? And like, clearly it has nothing to do with this, right? Because this here, we're using unless the problem is related to this, because placeholder grid tiles between 0 and the last one here. So let's say there are, I don't know, like 100 number of tiles 100, but because it's maximum inclusive, it's going to be between 0 and 99, which means that this should be fine, right? Same thing with this. So is it this? So the idea here is, so you're losing your shit, right? Should just get the internet to do it for you. Hold on. The same count, but one is longer than the other. No, they both have the exact same count, bitch. The fuck you mean? So number of tile types list, right? So this is on the first one, second one, etc., etc. So if this has more than one, is greater than 0, I mean, then loop index 1 equals 0. Loop index this, like that, right? Yeah, so this is good. So I don't get it. So you know what? Let me just put this at 0 just to see. Because if it still gives me an error, then it can't be this, right? It can't be this thing here, right? Hold on. What is happening? Huh. It's still giving me an error. 121. It's giving me an error, and the thing is, whatever error it gives me prevents me. Oh wait. Fuck you plus 1. Fuck you plus 1. I forgot to put all my other fuck you plus 1s. There you go. Even though that's not really gonna fix anything. Coder bashes head of wall and refuses to use debug options. Coder's head explodes. Let's see. Okay. Still gives us errors. Are they all the same? Yeah. What? For int loop, number of tile types. Number of tile types. Okay, hold on. I want to see here, because these 3 lists here should get populated. Because maybe that's the problem. But no, probably not. Okay, they're not getting populated in the first place. So that's what the problem might be. Then, okay, yeah. Okay. So that's the problem. Because this one here. Spawned. Oh, okay, I think I get it. Yeah. I'm stupid. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the mistake wasn't even there. Okay. This I'm gonna do like that. Dot add a newly spawned tile object. Okay, so now this should populate. Yeah, no, okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so basically, now I get it. So basically, the error was here, but it wasn't from this. Like, it assumed it was from this, and it kept giving me an error here because the count was 0. So I was doing between 0 and 0. That's what's happening, right? That's, okay. Motherfucker. Okay, so now in theory I shouldn't need the fuck you. Okay. Spawn placeholder grid tiles. God damn it. That should be good. That. These are only going to happen once. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So now these should work fine. What's really sad is rather than guessing, you could have just used, bitch, fuck you. Had debug lines in the first place. You might have known. Well, no, because in this specific issue, so here's the thing, okay? I agree that using debug lines is actually very useful. For those who don't know, it's the, hold on, let me go back to my, where's the camera manager player? Camera manager. It's this stuff here, right? That's like a debug line that says like, okay, you middle clicked, you right clicked, you left clicked, right? Whatever. The problem, okay, is that assuming I actually fixed the issue. Fuck, where were we? Assuming I actually fixed the issue, the problem is that it was giving me an error here, but the real error was like because this line here was missing. In theory, again, assuming I fixed the issue, right? So in this case, putting debug lines wouldn't have actually, if anything, it might have confused me even more. Is this going to work? Okay. Okay, now I can't even, oh. Okay, out of range. Okay, interesting. Hold on. Okay, so now we're getting another error. So on line 103, on line 103, it's this. Okay. Line 152. Okay, yeah. Oops, line 182. Okay, this classic, and then 237 is 237 is this. Okay, so this one here, hold on. Okay, so now actually let's ask ChatGPT again. Okay, here's what my script looks like now. Mamma mia. Here's what my script looks like now. Here we're gonna remove this piece of garbage here, like that. I'm now getting this error in the Unity editor. Okay. Instantiate grid tile prefabs list. You're trying to access blah blah blah, but tile type spawn ID is possibly -1, which would throw this exception. Doubt it. This happens if the random.range total influence doesn't fall within any cumulative. Oh, hold on. So it says this line here is the problem, right? Control A to select all in the notepad. Randy does not listen to the project manager. The debug line itself, you would have started seeing nulls and impossible values. Right, yeah, that's true, that's true. Hold on, instantiate one instance of the current tile type, add a target, place, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Because we're using total influence, yeah. Okay, so total influence is this, right? Between 0 and this. Tile type ID equals if RNG current max influence plus equals let me actually no, okay. So the error here it says is happens if total inf doesn't fall within any cumulative range during this logic. So if total influence equals 0, RNG is 0, but the loop never runs or no condition passes. Okay, well in that case, let's keep it at, let's put this at 0 and see if it's gonna stop giving us the error. Come on, bitch. Okay, interesting. It's still giving us the error, which is on line 182, 237. 237. It says here, hold on. Once again, I think ChatGPT is just once again fucking up, like it's not validate input early. No, bitch. Hold on. Wait, where did we do the okay, tile influence, magnitude, blah blah blah, round to int, it's here, Current grid tiles influence plus equals blah blah blah. Okay, let me see actually. Let's press play. Upload the project first to fix this error because error wins. Hold on. I want to see something. So do these placeholder, can I select one? Okay. Okay, my Unity editor is lagging the fuck out. Okay, so they're all on element 0. Interesting. Okay, so that might be what's causing the problem here. Is that they're all given to element 0. Is it the same thing here? Okay, hold on. No. Let me do player camera movement. Let's do it like that. So first I want to see if it spawns anything. Oh my god. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, do we see now? Because basically I want to see if it at least spawns some of the original ones, right? Okay. Hold on. Let me do grid builder. Let's do 10 by 10. Bruh. Does it spawn some of them? Okay, hold on. So here. Okay. Like that. Grid builder. 10 by 10. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so it does. Okay, so it does spawn a couple of them, right? But white tile. Hold on. Okay, hold on. So, so it only spawns. So white tile, white tile, white tile, white tile. All these are white tiles. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so clearly something's happening. So I think all of these errors stem from one singular problem. So let's review the whole logic from start to finish, right? Like here we spawn the grid, that clearly works. Then once we're done, do this, right? Once all of this is done, move on to the next function. Right? So then, here, we go into this, loop index 0, number of tiles. If the current value is greater than 0, then we go into here like that with the, it's number, total number of tiles here. Let's go back to doing it like that. And let's see if it's gonna give me an error now, basically. If it's gonna give me an error there. Okay. Yeah, so you see it's telling me that the error is on this line here, right? Let's put it like that, so that I can see here on my scroll bar that there's an error, right? Or rather, let's do it like that. Okay, so there's an error here. Okay, so you see, so I was right. This thing here is not the problem, right? So instead, let's go back to what I had done here, okay? Like that. Let's see. Like that. Like that. Let's remove this here. Tile influence. Yeah, they're all going to. So 4, yeah, so this should be good. Here, let's see. Okay, let's see. Oh, fucks. Just. Okay, hold on. So let's do. Like that. Okay, there you go. Well, compose, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, hold on. So now hopefully it should be good. Mamma mia. It's probably going to give us a bunch of errors. Oh, well, see? Okay, so now it doesn't give us any errors. Cool. Now the problem though is that we still have a bunch of placeholder tiles, right? We still have a bunch of placeholder tiles. Okay. And then these ones here are all white tiles. Okay, interesting. Okay, so okay, hold on now, okay? Let's just put things back into perspective, okay? The errors that the fucking Unity editor gave me were fucking shit, because the problem was never with this fucking line. Okay, it was that I forgot to do this line here, and not even ChatGPT could help me. Okay, so fuck all of you. Fuck every single one of you. Alright, hold on. So you see, so hold on. So my code was good, okay? My code was fucking good from the very fucking start, okay? Fuck you. Mamma mia. Alright. Okay, hold on. So now the issue that we're having is that it's only spawning certain computers are deterministic. It can only be your fault. Hold on. So let's play that again and try to see why it only spawns white tiles, right? So let's click on any placeholder. Okay, so it only has influence from this here, right? It only has influence from these, but it doesn't change either, right? Interesting. Whereas these here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is simple. We're going to do spawn grid tiles, blah, 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 transform initial tiles. Boom. So we're just gonna remove this and see what happens here. I slander you because I can. A very interesting teaching style. Hold on. Okay. So now in theory it should only have spawned a single white one, but it spawned 6 white ones. Oh, the fuck? Okay. Did my screen go black for you guys on stream? Bruh. Hold on. Okay. So okay, so you see here it spawned 6. So it spawned 6 white tiles. Okay, hold on. Let me let me know if you guys can see everything. Okay, I can tell. Okay. Okay, so look, hold on, look, okay? It spawns 6 white tiles. Oh fuck, I'm so stupid. I know why. It's because of this. Tile prefabs is going to be loop index 0. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Hold on. But it does not explain why not all of the placeholders had changed, basically. It only explains why they were all white or placeholders, but it doesn't explain why some of the not all of the placeholders, I mean, yeah, why not all of the placeholders had transformed into white tiles. Thanks for these teachings. I now know whenever I mess up, immediately begin the scapegoating. Listen. Okay. Okay. But you see, okay, hold on. So we still have several placeholder tiles. Okay. Okay. We still have several placeholders tiles. Okay. But why? So the code, so clearly populate grid. So what happens here? It's go through every single placeholder tile and transform it into another tile based on its influences. We know that they received the proper amount of influence. That we know. Because they all had different numbers and they all had numbers in every single type. So that we know for a fact. But find the total influence inside the current placeholder tile. That, I believe, is also good enough. And then use an RNG. So the problem probably comes here. Current maximum influence plus equals. Use an RNG and compare it with total influence to find the tile type to transform placeholder tile into. So current max influence, okay, integer RNG. Is between this and total influence. Okay. So current max influence is placeholder tile script dot blah blah blah. The loop index, so initially it's 0, so it's 0 plus whatever, like 47 or whatever, so it means it's 47. So if this is below, oh fuck, hold on, I think I know why. Okay. Yeah. It's because this thing isn't written properly. What it should be is if RNG-inf plus max-inf minus placeholder tile dot types list loop index 1, okay, is lower than max-inf, then do this. Okay, hold on, I think that should be it, hopefully. Yeah. So the idea here is, or no, actually, no, never mind, this is stupid. Okay, hold on, because this goes between 0 and the absolute total number of influence, right? Okay. And then we're based on this. So plus the current maximum influence. No, exactly. So this should be it, actually. Let's try it with this. It's probably gonna cause a bunch of problems. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It caused a bunch of problems. Okay. Yeah, so I was right, that's not the problem. Okay. Boom. To be destroyed. Huh. So then populate. Okay, hold on. So let's go ChatGPT. Okay, so in this function, I basically replace every single pH tile with a normal grid tile based on its level of influence. Okay. However, okay, not all pH tiles end up getting replaced. Why is that? Here's the function for reference. Okay, okay, I have to leave you guys for now. If I don't come back before you finish, I'll say thanks for the stream, Randy. All right, take care, Red Herring. Hope you have a nice day if we don't see each other. Oh, Jesus. Why are you giving me 2 responses, bitch? You're facing the classic issue of removing items from... Oh, fuck's sake. No, that's not it, bitch. That's not it. That's clearly not the problem. God. Okay, no, that's that's not the problem here. What's happening? Because the thing is, regardless of, and it's not giving me an error, so clearly there's no problem with the list removals, right? So the problem, I think, use an RNG to pick which tile current placeholder tile will transform into. Yeah, okay, use an RNG, yeah. So we're going through every single tile. Oh, wait. No, that actually is the problem here. Okay. Okay, in this case, I think it is the problem, actually. That we are removing certain tiles. Okay, so here we have the placeholder grid tiles objects list. So find the tool inside. Yeah. So now that we found everything, we do grid tiles objects list. Yeah. Then we tell it to destroy itself, and then we remove it. Yeah, so that's clearly causing a problem. Yeah, that's true. So instead, what we're gonna do is here, we're gonna do this like that. It's placeholder tiles to destroy list, blah blah blah, like that, and then here. Okay, so here we have placeholder tiles to destroy dot add loop. Right, but then the moment I do this, oh no, actually this should work. Okay, hold on. Let's not touch this for now. It's probably gonna give me an error, but let's see if that's going to work. Okay. Oh! Grid builder. Loop index 0. Ah, I see. I see. Well, actually here, because it should do every single tile. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, no, I see what's happening. Okay, so the problem with this list here is that, so basically what I do here is I use indexes, and that's why it's causing me a problem here, right? So instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this back to a game object list. Placeholder tile. Okay, so now here we're just gonna do this like that, there you go. Current blah blah blah, like that. Remove current this to be destroyed. Okay. So now I think it should actually work fine. Okay, there you go. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. There you go. Okay, it works. All right. It took an extra hour of debugging, but it works. So, boom. There you go, right? Okay. So now we have this. Oh, fuck. Nope. Okay, we have this. So let's make it a bigger grid. All right. There you go. Bro, we wasted an hour, maybe even more, because I forgot one line of code. Amazing. Lovely. Okay, now it should slowly but surely. There you go. Boom. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Amazing. There you go. More like you wasted my hour, bitch. All right. So, okay. So, we've already been at this for like 3 hours now. Okay. So, I'm probably gonna end the stream in like a minute or two. Okay. But basically, the reason why I spent like a whole stream. Are there any SWATCs in the Lego mess? I have no idea what a SWATC is. So basically here, so as you can see, the way I've coded it already, right? It's already better than how it was yesterday, right? Because as you can see, stuff like this here, we're already getting basically colors that are closer to one another, basically, right? Like it's way less chaotic than it was yesterday, right? Oh, Jesus, Are there any actually? I'm not sure. Well, I can't find any. But anyways, so the point for next weekend stream, message retracted. So the point for next, what's it called? For next weekend streams, okay, it's going to be to actually transform this to like further enhance the algorithm, right? In order to, how can I say, to have basically to have it look closer to this, right? Closer to stuff where like it like all of the water touches it itself, right? Like instead of being, so let's say the blue tiles represent water, right? Like this makes no sense, right? Like having little pockets of water like that makes no sense, right? Like we want it to look more like this, right? And so the reason why I designed it the way that I did today compared to yesterday, basically, okay, it's because the way it was designed yesterday, it's as if like it goes one by one by one by one, and then it uses like probabilities and all sorts of weird stuff like that, right? Which technically, like it's faster in terms of creating a grid, but the problem is that it gives us the player less control, right? And it so not only does it give us the player less control, it also results in stuff that's less how can I say, it's more uniform, basically, right? Like every single map is gonna look a lot, every single grid, even though it's quote unquote procedurally generated, it's gonna look much more similar than using this method, right? And right now I only used one of each, right? So let's say element 2 is blue. Let's say I want 10 blue ones, 2 red ones, 1 green, 3 yellow, 4 black, 7 white, and let's say 15 blue. Okay, let's see what it's gonna look like now. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, there you go. Okay, so see, so now we clearly have way more blue, right? So now it's literally, it's directly proportionate to the numbers of things, right? We only have 1 green, so we barely see any green anywhere, right? So now the goal for next weekend streams, it's going to be to make it even more uniform than this, right? In the sense that like the blue stuff shouldn't be as weirdly widespread and chaotic as this. It should be more uniform, like bunched up next to each other, right? So like, for instance, here, let's say it spawned 1 blue here, 1 blue here, and 1 here. I'm hoping it's going to try to like fuse them together, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking of doing for next week's stream, right? Of like finding a way to create maybe 1 or multiple algorithms that are going to further enhance this so that it ends up looking like a real proper grid, right? That would be ideally the goal and the idea here, right? So let's do this. So yeah, so thank you very much for like bearing with me for like that 1 hour plus of debugging, right? It turns out the problem was so much more basic, but it's always like that. These types of problems are always from some bullshit, like, oh, I forgot something, or like I forgot 1 line of code, whatever it is, right? Like this 1 line of code alone fucked us so hard, right? But anyways, so that's the plan. Next week, what lesson did you learn? Fuck you, bitch. That's the lesson I learned. The lesson I learned is to not forget the fucking lines, okay? That's the lesson I learned. And not to trust... and not to trust neither the Unity editor nor ChatGPT. Anyways, that's the lesson we learned, right? The human brain remains the #1 tool. But yeah, so anyways, so that's the goal here, right? To further expand this system, because right now it works really well actually. So yeah, so next week we're gonna further expand it so that it looks closer to this. I have no idea if we're gonna be successful in making it this good, right? But that's the goal. And yeah, so until then, I guess I'll see you guys next week. And again, thank you for the streams. Thank you for being patient through this fucking chaotic debugging. And again, I hope you can learn from my mistakes and not forget your fucking lines of code. And yeah, until then, well, I'm gonna wish you a great week, a great end of Sunday. I'm gonna just quickly link for anybody watching the VOD. I'm gonna link the Discord server. Yeah, you guys can join. It's lots of fun. And I put like these projects that I'm working on, these prototypes, at the end of every Sunday stream, I put up the latest version of the stream on the server. So if you guys are interested in like, for the people watching the VOD of the stream, basically, if you're interested in literally like having access to my code and then being able to use it however you want, as kind of like as a stepping stone, basically, feel free to use it. I put up the projects after every Sunday stream. So yeah, so on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again for everything, and yeah, till next time. See ya.